it's an American company, but you have a very international kind of mix going on. Can you talk about what that is, like what those flavors sort of create?
When I say American company, we function like an American company as far as there is a great work ethic about, I mean, I'm going to say American people, especially New Yorkers, because we live here, it goes.
Yes.
And we are doing it, you know.
There's no siesta time, there's no rolling back.
We are working. We're working here,
that's
right?
true,
and everybody here works a lot. That's part of the job. That's what I said to every dancer. It is not a 10 to 6. I really want you to really immerse yourself and really get and not count the time and be like, it's done.
And what's funny is, with giving your background with the companies that you worked for and the people that you worked for, between Donald Byrd and you're working at Haley, that's no stop. It's dance all the time.
Exactly.
So
I was groomed.
You were groomed.
I was groomed.
You were groomed as well.
But to me, it's for me, it was truly to really figure out what I wanted to do. And when I knew, I actually always knew, because I'm that type of person. I'm opinionated.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm always right. It's a different
you
thing.
have an opinion.
Exactly.
It's not a bad thing. I'm a woman who's opinion. I would not think that would be a bad thing. But it's you have an opinion, you have a stance, you have a preference.
And sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, but I do have an opinion and I thrive for it. And to me, it's really what it is about. And I feel like that's what transcends what is Cedar Lake about. And I think as well, people perceive and understand what we're trying to convey.
What do you think is the biggest difference between the way that American dancers are trained, and when I mean trained, I mean body and mind, and the way that European dancers are trained? I think, just to set up, I think that there is a difference. I do think that there's a difference. I think that American dancers, and I'm not talking about technique, let's say they're equal to that. I do believe that there's something about the way that we work here that is very confined. You know, like that whole openness, stretchiness. I think that there is a willingness in European cultures to kind of, okay, let me just see. I don't know what that is. What do you think?
I was trained in Europe. All my training was in Europe at the Conservatory of Paris. So it is true that I had to adapt myself and of what people were expecting from me as a dancer in America. The way I was trained, there was a lot of exploration of your own body and about what you could do and how you could manage to achieve what you wanted to do. In America, I felt that we were relying on the physicality and actually how I was born, like how my shape,
the facility, or
my
what you were working with.
That's true. And not saying it's wrong, but it's a very different way of looking at dance and how
the body.
And the body, absolutely. To me, it was, I will never, when I was training, I was not put in a box. I was really trained to, actually I was trained and educated in a way that was truly, a dancer can not just be a ballet dancer or a modern dancer. He's a dancer.
Right.
Already when you have this, you do have options and possibilities.
Right.
And that maybe my body is not made for certain technique. That's what people will say. But I can actually try to figure out how my body can actually do it.
Right. But so there's a sensibility of working, of figuring out how to work it out.
Absolutely.
And so the non-American, let's put that, the non-American dancers in your company, do you see a difference in I don't know what I'm trying to get at. Do you know what I'm trying to get at?
I do, because you know, somehow I'm not this person who say, okay, I'm gonna get 4 foreigners, 6 Americans.
I mean, it's something that
but it's natural and organic, and I am drawn to European international dancers.
Because, yes.
And that's what you're getting at.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Because there is something, a sensibility.
It's an approach. It's an approach of how they work. We have, in America, and I just don't like saying America versus Europe, but there is a tendency of just going for the step and not going how you going in the step. And what I'm saying to that is I find European dancer really trying to, how do you go about the step and not just saying what's the step.
Right.
So I might not be clear, but I'm going to try to be clear.
But listen to that. Because that is a huge thing. And I know in my teaching, I'm like, the step is a step. How you get there, what that takes, what your sensibilities of that, like what's the next step, why, all of that stuff becomes important. And I think
that gives you the job. That gives you the job.
That's the only thing that separates you. Because everybody's doing arabesque.
Exactly. The way you go with your arabesque what makes me special more than you, or vice versa.
Right.
It is important that dancers don't put themselves in this little, I need to hit the 90 degrees arabesque. Okay, get to 90 degrees arabesque. But how are you doing this arabesque? How are you doing it?
How are you doing this arabesque?
So to me, it's a huge use. It's so important. I don't look at degrees of arabesque. I look at how you go about it, how you interpret this arabesque, how you doing it. Then my attention gets, who is that person?
Okay, so let's get into this because this is what everybody wants to know. Because after you called me, I was like, okay, y'all. I'm about to go get the answers that everybody wants to know. Do you know what I mean? Like, we get the team, it's the skinny. You know what I mean? Like, what is he looking for? What is the thing? So, what's the quintessential Cedar Lake dancer for you?
First, I like to have dancers who don't look the same. You have to be, I have 16 dancers, 16 individuals. There is no code of ballet, there is no principle. You have to say in your mind, I can bring something on the table for Cedar Lake. He doesn't have that. That's the key. I'm looking for things that I don't have.
You're looking for individuals. This is really important because...
Not just a haircut.
Damn.
No, but this is true. But not the look. How you dance. That's what I'm saying.
Right, but that also could open up to... So there's not like necessarily a type. Like
there's no type.
City Ballet has a type, right?
Sure.
Okay, you can even say that Ballet has a type. You know, give or take.
Different types.
Different types, but types, right? So you're saying if you are short, if you are tall, if you are
doesn't matter.
Tight,
doesn't matter.
If you are lanky,
doesn't matter.
Good feet.
You see the company.
I'm just saying
that's true. You see the company. That's the truth right there. You see that Ebony doesn't look like Sujin. Sujin doesn't look like Akeisha. Akeisha doesn't look like Navara. Navara doesn't look like Anna. Anna doesn't look like. That's the way it is.
So what's great is you won't be typed out.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
But
check. But
that's it. You have to come and you have to look like a group. That's what it is. That those individuals work together.
And what do they have as dancers? Okay, let's break down some technique or qualities of either this work ethic, technique. What do they have that goes, you can do this work? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes. What do they have?
Because they're not all the same, but in a way, there's something about them that is the same.
They all know that sometimes you're gonna have, and we talked about it just a bit earlier, that when a choreographer comes, there is no more Swan's quality of movement or Ohad quality of movement. Okay, we push that all aside, it's about the person in front of you. Now, what you learned in the past, you're gonna utilize this knowledge to to enable this choreographer to actually put the best work they can. So my 16 dancers become blank, become like paint me.
Right.
I am here, the canvas. I am here to execute and help you.
With good technique.
With everything we know.
So you need to be technically a good technical ballet dancer and have a good grasp or good modern dancer and a good mover and be able to meld all that stuff together.
So I know it's vague.
But here's the thing. It's vague, but it's really it's broad. It's not vague. It's
it opens
just
doors.
broad.
You're absolutely right. I will never say you're too short for me, or you're too tall, you're too thick, you're too skinny. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested of what can we bring on the table, and do I have this quality of movement that you're offering?
Right.
So if you come and you're so different from my company, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
That is exciting because I do believe that people say that, but I think that people say that and they want to believe that, but when you look at companies of people who say that, you kind of see the same thing. You know what I mean?
I hope that it's not this way for me.
No, it's not, but I think that there's a part of us that wants to believe that, but naturally we're drawn to a certain quality or aesthetic. And
but I do too, Teresa. I have to say that I'm running the company, so it's my taste, what I like.
Of course.
So it's very personal. So I'm not gonna say everybody who's different is gonna come and see the leg, but what I'm saying is that it's true. Maybe when you see the company, you're like, well, the men have all this, or the ladies have all this, because I'm choosing them. I'm the one to choose them.
So there is sort of like, you do need to be, let's call it a pliant dancer. Like you have to have enough of everything for you to be able to morph into anything.
I cannot afford to have just a ballet dancer who cannot do oral, who cannot do Offer Schechter. I have 16 dancers, they have to do everything. Like right now, we just finished a piece and we're going to show it at the Joyce season. In May, we are going to, we're doing a piece on point. Regina von Berkel from Germany came and did this absolutely beautiful, it's called Simply Marble, and I did a private showing and the people who came said, we never seen Cedar move this way. That was the best compliment to me. I do not like to be in the box. So you have Ebony, you have Acacia, you have Sujin on point, looking divine.
So here's the thing, so as a female then, you need to be proficient in points.
Or knowledge.
Or knowledge.
To use the
you need to be able to negotiate the shoe. That's what I call it. You have to be able to negotiate the shoe, which means like it's not negotiating you. Like you have to be able to figure that out and have that to me that creates a level of proficiency because you have to be sophisticated enough to know, even if it's not like the classical thing. You still need to know how to roll through a foot.
Absolutely. We're not going to do Swan Lake, we're not going to do Giselle, other beautiful company does it already.
Right, and that's
but when I'm interested that you have a true knowledge of, like you said, roll through, that you know how to use the point.
And it looks like it should look like you dance on point.
Absolutely.
It should not look like you're trying to dance on point because this piece is on point.
It's tough, but I don't like it when it's halfway done. I think it's horrible. It needs to be, when you do point work, you have to know what you're talking about. You have to know, because then you look not good.
It's true. I'm not mad at you.
I know you
just,
know.
I'll be like this, oh, don't do it.
It's not forgivable. You have to
I agree.